This is Iris signing in to the Hivemind with my trusty companion Dorothy here. I'm going to be reviewing the two comedic Child's Play films. I'm going to be doing this chronologically, obviously, so I'm just going to start with Bride right now. So, Bride of Chucky is about Chucky and his ex Tiffany. Now, after she brings Chucky back to life and they have some dispute, he murders her and turns her into a doll also. So what they need to do is to dupe two high school lovers that are running away to take them on a trip to New Jersey so that they can dig up Chucky's corpse and get an amulet. And with this amulet, they will be able to transfer their souls into actual human bodies. I really enjoyed this film. Now, my favorite part about it was Jennifer Tilly. Like, her portrayal of Tiffany was just everything that I would have wanted it to be. Like, she is so sexy, like way beyond sexy. She is funny. Like, her character is like totally crazy. And she is a serial killer. I enjoy that, like, she's obviously the type that would like send letters, like have like a pen pal that is a serial killer in prison. She would probably send him like all kinds of sexy things, but yeah. So she used to be with Chucky when he was alive. It's like 10 years since he died. But in the timeline, the movie happens 1 month after the third film, so you can see like kind of how it all connects. So that way she can actually get his kind of doll body and like sew it back together. There's a whole thing about voodoo. It starts in these like two comedic movies. It's just like, yes, in the first movie it was like a huge deal. He like knew this black guy who knew voodoo, taught him voodoo, and then he used voodoo to become this what the other guy called an abomination. And now she was just like reading a Voodoo for Dummies book. I found that funny, just because this is obviously not to be taken seriously. It's full of like references, like she has like this goth lover who is like pretending, like he's trying to be a serial killer, but he just cannot kill people. So he gives her this picture of his like alleged victim, and it's just him with like fake blood smeared on his face. And like after a while she realizes it, and she's like, seriously, like he obviously only wants to get laid, which and she obviously she seduces him when she realizes she has actually brought Chucky back to life to do some fun murdering. I really enjoyed it as well when she's tormenting Chucky, because Tiffany thought that Chucky was going to marry her. He left a ring at her doorstep, but he was going to sell it. He was not intending to marry her. So when she finds out, she's obviously very upset. Basically, like, the best part of the movie is like the first part. It's like before Chucky murders Tiffany and turns her into a doll. Like, I am just in love with the character of Tiffany. Like, seriously, she's amazing. But afterwards, like, they go on this killing spree, and the teenagers, they think that the boyfriend thinks the girlfriend did it, and in reverse. So, like, I enjoyed the whole like Tiffany and Chucky falling in love again, and Chucky realizing that he never really saw Tiffany for the sick killer that she really was. Didn't see her serial killing potential. So yeah, I really enjoyed all the parts with like Chucky and Tiffany, but the teenagers played by one of them played by Katherine Heigl, they were so boring. Like, they were plot devices. They were there to get Tiffany and Chucky from point A to point B. And yeah, of course there's a plot point about Tiffany and Chucky wanting to take over their bodies, but doesn't really make them any more important in my book. They're just very boring. And then they just kind of get away and presumably live happily ever after. But, I mean, I personally found it just like, why are they here? Like, I mean, the scenes where they're kind of like being paranoid are like okay, but I'm really just here for Tiffany and Chucky. They're kind of just like stealing away time that I could be, marveling at their kind of sick romance. The teenager's friend, David, who's like gayer than all that is gay, He is a lot of fun. Like, there's this really funny scene where he's pretending to take Katherine Heigl's character to the prom. So her uncle is like grilling him, and he's like, oh, so you're going to this fancy college. What are you going to be studying? Theater arts. Yeah, but you're on a hockey scholarship, right? Figure skating. I'm just like, yes. Because this is a comedy. If this had not been like, obviously trying to be funny, then I would have just been like, seriously? But yeah, I really enjoyed David's character. But like, and when he died, I was sad. But like the whole like subplot that Jade and Jesse get is just so like lame. It's like, oh, Jade and Jesse are in love, but Jesse is like white trash. And the police chief, her uncle, has to take care of her because her parents are like died in a car crash, and he doesn't want her to be with Jesse. And he's like using the other cops. He's like paying one of the other cops to like keep them apart and stuff. And I'm just like, woo. Okay, haven't seen this 1,000 times. Keeping them apart. Just please give me some more Tiffany and Chucky and more murdering and killing. So yeah, like and also the ending. I think the ending was a bit weak. It was like Tiffany and Chucky kind of turn against each other in the end and kill each other, and then she gives birth to a doll baby with sharp teeth. Which are sequel baiting, obviously, but I didn't enjoy it. It was like, it was underwhelming, but it doesn't like ruin the whole experience or anything. So yeah, I would recommend this movie. I had a lot of fun watching it. Okay, moving on to Seed of Chucky. So in Seed of Chucky, we see that their kid, who is like called Shitface, has been he's kind of being held captive, I guess, by this British ventriloquist. Well, ventriloquist. He's using an alive doll, so he's not a real ventriloquist. Anyways, he's like using him in a show. And Shitface wants to find his parents. So he sees Chucky and Tiffany on TV, and like the thing that he finds that links them to him is that they all have a Made in Japan thing. And I'm just thinking, like, I don't know, what if he saw Barbie or something that had this, which I would have found immensely hilarious. But no, he found like, well, it isn't even Chucky and Tiffany, it's like replicas of them. So he goes to Hollywood, awakens the replicas with the souls of his parents, like because he has the amulet from the graveyard where he was born. And, well, then they want to take over Jennifer Tilly's body because Jennifer Tilly is playing herself in this film. It's very funny. But they realize they need a body for the kid. So they artificially inseminate Jennifer Tilly with Chucky's sperm. And yeah. That movie was kind of, it took it like way over the top with the ridiculousness. There was a scene in this movie of Chucky masturbating. And I'm like, I just saw that. I just saw a doll. Well, okay, I saw the silhouette of a doll masturbating. Yeah, I also find it very interesting that they're actually anatomically correct. But yeah, that's basically like, the plot. Them trying to make Jennifer Tilly have a baby so they can all get into bodies again. I find it very interesting, the whole like voodoo thing, because like in the previous installments, it has been it's like a rule that it has to have something to do with like the doll. Like in all of the other movies, the Chucky doll, a part of the original doll that Chucky possessed was always used, but now those were just like shining new dolls. And usually when I find problems like this, I try to make headcanons in my head, and I have found one. The amulet is basically like a Deus Ex Machina. So I figure that it must have some kind of power. like maybe, you know, like the rules from the first movies that he had to, you know, try to get his soul into Andy. And yeah, I'm never gonna forget that line. I have a date with a 6-year-old boy. What were they thinking? But yeah, maybe that just allows you to put your soul into anybody's body. I figure maybe that could make sense in that canon, so I just kind of used that one. It's like a little fan theory about how this all works. So yeah. I guess a character that I really enjoy, except for, you know, Jennifer Tilly. She has an amazing sense of humor about herself. It's John Waters. Now, you know, the legendary director, he's playing like a paparazzi. And it's just this funny scene where he like sneaks into Jennifer Tilly's kind of garden. So she's having this date with Redman, who is playing himself as well. And the whole plot with that is that Redman is making a movie, like a Christian epic. And she wants to be cast as the Virgin Mary. And for those of you who know how Jennifer Tilly looks, she's quite busty and not very, I guess, virgin-y looking. Not like the person you would necessarily, I don't know, pick to be the Virgin Mary. And there's this whole in-joke about Julia Roberts. So yeah, Redman says like, I might go with my first choice. And who is that? Julia Roberts. And then Jennifer Tilly knows she must have the part, because apparently she has some feud with Julia Roberts, I mean. But yeah, I liked when John Waters' character comes there, and like they're making out, and all of a sudden he sees Chucky masturbating as a silhouette, and he thinks that he is a dwarf. He's dwarfism, and he's just like, you know, what kind of like insane sex party that is this? And Tiffany like kind of, he sees her through a window and he's like, oh, bless the little people. So he's getting all of this material. He gets a really cool death scene as well. He gets some acid on his face, so his face kind of melts off. It's a really nice visual effect. I really enjoyed like the makeup work in this. I don't know, I didn't really enjoy this movie that much. Like, I always enjoy Jennifer Tilly because I just really enjoy her acting, especially like comedic kind of acting. But this movie just, like, it didn't have something that The Bride of Chucky had. Like, The Bride of Chucky was, like, very simple, but it just had this kind of really, like, maybe it's the dialogue, maybe it's the actors, but, well, except for, like, Heigl and her guy, no. It just, I really enjoyed it. But this one was kind of like, I guess maybe it was trying too hard. It was kind of too like, whoa, okay, I did not need to see a doll masturbating in my lifetime. Like, seriously, I did not. But yeah, I mean, the whole artificial insemination, I was kind of getting second-hand embarrassment at a lot of the jokes, especially like the sex doll jokes. And I always found it quite interesting that, like, he was like, oh yeah, I'm anatomically correct. Like, I always assume that is something to do with, like, the magic, you know, because they're supposed to be more human, and if you're human, then you need to have some kind of way to spread your genes. But sometimes I was just imagining, like, what if they would just make, like, I know some, like, dolls do have, like, genitals, but I'm saying, like, what kind of genitals does he have? And also, like, female dolls usually just have, like, a smooth thing. They would not have a vagina, like, not a hole. So I'm just like, you know, having fun, disturbing myself with all of these thoughts about doll genitalia. Like, ugh. But yeah, I mean, it does have some good moments, I guess. Seed of Chucky, you know, it has some fun references, like the kids. It's called like Glenn and Glenda. They're like two, like, I guess, twins inside of one doll. And Glenn and Glenda is a reference to the Wood movie, Ed Wood movie. I mean, by the same name. I guess I did like the ending. I found it quite interesting. But then again, like I said, I love Tiffany in the flesh. That's what I came here for. And I like the twins. I like the young girl who was portraying like the Glenda part of the character, because yeah, in the end, Tiffany manages to like transfer herself into Jennifer Tilly's body, and the twins are the kid. But yeah, I did enjoy the ending, I must say. Like, I'm saying, like, yeah, sure, I did enjoy this movie. It was a bit like, I didn't enjoy it, like I said, as much as Bride of Chucky, but this is a great double feature for any movie night, really. You know, if you want to just watch silly movies and laugh with your friends, like, you could definitely go for worse ones. Well, anyways, I think I have said everything I need to say about this topic, so Dorothy and I bid you adieu and sign out.